Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna, liebe Gäste, liebe Devotees, ein schönes Willkommen zu unserem Sonntagsprogramm hier im Krishna Tempel Zurich. Hare Krishna, dear guests, dear devotees, a very big welcome to our Sunday program here at our Krishna Temple in Zurich. Today our program is as usual. We will now have a talk on some Krishna consciousness topics. At 5 o'clock there will be a vegetarian feast. 6 o'clock, 6:15 there will be a guided mantra meditation. 7 o'clock a temple ceremony, and from 8 o'clock onwards there will be more kirtan, singing of mantras. For today's talk, maybe you have thought that we have actually announced in the mid of month that His Holiness Bhakti Vasudeva Maharaj is coming, but unfortunately he couldn't come. Some visa issues, so he couldn't come. So we are very sorry for that. It was recently we had to deal with this, so we couldn't also announce it properly. Also, excuse us for this miscommunication. But nevertheless, we are still happy to invite here His Grace Krishna Premarupa Prabhu. Please welcome him with a big Hari Bol, with the same enthusiasm. Many of you know already him. He has joined this Krishna conscious movement also here in Zurich in 2001, and from that time on he has worked or served in many different capabilities as a cook in this temple, as temple commander, etc. But his major contribution to this temple was when he was the temple president here for 14 years till 2021. And then he took up more serious responsibilities, and also he engaged more also in teaching Krishna consciousness literatures, and also outside you can find many seminars which are given by him. And so now we are very happy to invite him here. He will speak on the culture of respect. And before we start, I request you all, please come a little closer. That would be very nice. And I will ask for a translation. Gibt es jemand, der eine deutsche Übersetzung braucht? Die können wir eine geben. No? Okay. Then I wish you a very happy Sunday. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Jaya Ratha Madhava Kunja Bihari 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 Gopichana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopichana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopichana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopichana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Brachachana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brachachana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brachachana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brachachana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Yamuna Tiravanachari Yamuna Tiravanachari Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Ratha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Ratha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Is oké, polska das też. Danke. Om Jnanatimirandasya Gnanjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Namopistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Svayam Rupa Karamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyaiva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So today's topic is on respect, how to see good in others. Sometimes easier said than done. So it's an important topic, and we'll have a look why and how we can cultivate this quality. And I will start with a shloka from the Bhagavad Gita, from the 5th chapter, text 18. Those who know the shloka can chant along with me. 5:18. Vidya Vinaya Sampane Brahmane Kavihastini Shoni Chaiva Svapakecha Pandita Samadarshinaha. This is Krishna speaking to Arjuna and explaining basically the symptoms of someone who is a transcendentalist, someone who has a transcendental consciousness. And basically here is described how such a yogi sees the world, how he sees the surrounding. And here it says, the humble sage, by virtue of true knowledge, see with equal vision a learned and gentle brahmana, a cow, an elephant, a dog, and a dog eater, like an outcast person. So the important Sanskrit word here is sama darshinaha. Darshin means to see, and then sama means equal. So such a person is able to see everyone with an equal vision. Let's just read part of Srila Prabhupada's translation, purport. A Krishna-conscious person does not make any distinction between species or caste. The brahmana, that means the priest, and the outcast may be like a low-class person, may be different from the social point of view, or a dog and a cow and an elephant might be different from the point of view of species, but these differences of body are meaningless from the viewpoint of a learned transcendentalist. So there is an external, like different kind of bodies, different social status, but someone who has a transcendental vision, for him this will be not such a big issue because he sees something else. What does he see? He sees he sees the soul in the heart of the body, and also the super soul, the Paramatma. That means God who resides in the heart of everyone. Prabhupada explains, this is due to the relationship to the Supreme, who the Supreme Lord, by his plenary portion, as a Paramatma is present in everyone's heart. Such an understanding of the Supreme is real knowledge. As far as the bodies are concerned, in different castes or different species of life, the Lord is equally kind to everyone because he treats every living entity as a friend, yet maintains himself as Paramatma regardless of the circumstances of the living entities. The Lord as Paramatma is present both in the outcast and in the Brahmana, although the body of a Brahmana and that of an outcast are not the same. So I found this is an interesting shloka to introduce this topic, because in this world today many people speak of that we are all equal, right? Like we emphasize this a lot. Equal rights for everyone and we are all equal. But are we all equal? I mean, looking into this room, are we all equal? In a sense of, some are young, some are older, some are men, some are women, some are very talented musicians, some are very scholarly people, very intellectual, some are not so much. So everyone has different qualities, different talents, different gender, different, we have different bodily features, maybe different race, different color. So we are different, so we also have to see that we are different. But there is something there is something in common, and that's that we are all spiritual souls. We may have externally different bodies, but inside we are a spiritual soul, and Krishna as the super soul is with us. And that's the equality from a spiritual point of view. That's the sama darshina, the spiritual vision. And therefore, the true vision of equality is actually only possible from the spiritual point of view, to understand this. And if someone has such a vision, naturally one will respect every form of life, because we understand, we are brothers and sisters in the sense of we are all spiritual souls and part and parcel of the Supreme. So, I would like to cover in this talk different forms of respect, how in Vedic culture respect is given, then why this is important, consequences of disrespect, and then also practical application, how can we train ourselves to give respect to others. Is this something which is kind of relevant? Yeah? Okay, good. By the way, anyone is here for the first time, visiting for the first time? Wow, okay, everyone is an insider. Good. Because if you speak on Sunday, you always have to choose a topic that is, even if a newcomer can kind of connect to it, but at the same time some of you come for decades and you also want to not to be bored, so let's see what we can do. So let's start with the definition. What do we understand when we speak of respect? If you look at the dictionary, there it says, respect is a feeling of deep admiration for someone or something due to their abilities, qualities, or achievements. We have a deep feeling. It's a feeling of admiration for someone. And it's interesting. You can understand how advanced is this, or the consciousness or advancement of society. You can see in how, according to the level, how they actually respect each other, and also what is respected. Like in today's society, who gets respect in today's society? Any thoughts?
Those who have a lot of money.
Those who have a lot of money, yes. They don't mind so much what is your background and your upbringing or your qualities. You have money, you're respected. Those who have fame, yeah. Have many followers on Instagram, you get a lot of respect. And another one, what is very...
Beauty?
Beauty, yes. Oh my God, someone is beautiful, everyone is like, oh. It's interesting, someone maybe has a little bit strange nose or outsticking ears like myself, then people, but if someone is very beautiful, then wow, so immediately it's just an external thing. Yes. It's interesting in Vedic culture. I mean, according to Manusamhita, which is a Vedic scripture, there is seniority or respect in the Varnashram system, which gives respect according to, and we should not misunderstand Varnashram with the caste system. Caste system, of course, that's a whole other discussion. But Varnashram is more like people act according to their nature and perform their duties. So it says that the Brahmanas, that means the head of society, the priests, they get respect according to their knowledge. No? If someone has a lot of knowledge, then he's respected for that. Then amongst the Kshatriyas, that means the administrators, those who are brave, no? Tapfarkeit, those who are brave or powerful, they receive respect for that. And among the Vaishyas are those in business. Of course, they are respected by it says by the grains they have, grains, land, cows, and wealth. And among the Shudra, they are respected by their age. Yeah. So that's according to Manusamhita. But then Bhaktivinoda Thakur, in his Sri Chaitanya Shikshamrita, also gives some different aspects of how one gives respect. No? Proper respect should be given considering the person's status. This is called Maryada. Maryada means, showing proper, like the proper etiquette of something. Not giving proper respect is considered a great fault. One should give respect to all human beings, but one should give more respect to a man according to their position. No? So the first one is Nara Matrera Maryada, which means respect to humans. That means someone who got a human body, hey, great respect, he's a human. Because, and here we are laughing, but there's so many species of life, and actually it takes quite a lot for a soul. It takes a lot of, many cycles, thousands of births to actually attain the human form of life. So someone who actually attained a human form, it's quite an elevated soul. And so it means regardless of a nationality, age, race, gender, habits, whatever, someone has a human body, we respect that person because it's a human. And of course, in fact, as devotees, we not only respect humans, we also respect animals, right? Madhavananda Prabhu, who also spoke on this topic, he gives an example. A lot of content I have from him. He gave the example on a morning walk. Prabhupada was on a morning walk with some of disciples. And somehow this was a park where they had a zoo. So there was a cage with the tigers inside. And some of his sannyasi disciples took the danda and kind of picked the danda between the I don't know, wanted to give some blessings or so. And then Prabhupada kind of, stop it, this is a tiger. We respect tigers, Prabhupada said. Like, in the sense of, as devotees, we respect every living entity. And of course, vegetarian or vegan diet is an expression of that respect, because we understand, these all living entities. We don't have a right to kill someone just for our satisfaction of the tongue. So we respect different living entities, but we especially respect those who are humans. So then the next level is Sabhyatara Maryat, which means we respect those who are civilized. Because amongst humans, there are many humans, they don't behave so nice. But then there are some who are very nice. And we respect those more. Like those who open a door for a lady, or very polite in their behavior. Those who have good qualities, so we give them more respect. Because obviously they have understood something, they have some maturity. And then there is Raja Maryada. What could it mean, Raja Maryada? Raja means king. That means we respect those who have a certain position. We respect the police officer, right? Why do you respect the police officer? Some say no. Well, you better do. We should respect. We may don't like the person, but we should respect his uniform, because if you don't, we get into trouble. And yeah, it's a thankless job. But we also respect, the president of the nation. We may not vote for him, we don't like the person, but he's the president, And imagine the president. Of course, in Switzerland, we don't even know who is the president because there are 7 of them. But if some, who is the present president in Switzerland? The main. You see, I told you. One is always the head, but nobody knows. Yeah, but if some great personality like a leader comes, if Joe Biden comes, no, there's the WEF, the World, what is this? World Economic Forum. Many prominent people come. Imagine Joe Biden would say he wants to visit the Hare Krishna temple. What would we do? I mean, we certainly make sure that he gets a good welcome. Why? Do we like him? Do we agree with him? Maybe not, but he is a great personality. So, and it's interesting, in the Chaitanya Charitamrita we find an example of that. As we know, Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami, great Vaishnavas in the line of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, some of the first disciples of Chaitanya, they were in the beginning engaged in the service of the Muslim ruler. India was ruled by Muslim rulers, and Nawab Hussain Shah was the ruler, and they served as the ministers for him. But Sanatana Goswami at some point, I think Rupa already resigned and left, and Sanatana was also tired. So he just said he is sick. Actually, he was not sick, but he just didn't want to work anymore. So then at some point, a secretary went to see what's happening, why he's not coming for his job. And he saw that Sanatana Goswami was just sitting with devotees like we are here sitting and just discussing the Bhagavatam. Just speaking Krishna Katha. So he reported to the ruler that actually he's not sick, he's doing his Krishna Katha speaking. So the Nawab Hussain Shah came there in the assembly of all these brahmanas, these priests, and he was very angry because what's going on, And of course, there's a whole different story. But the point is, when he entered this assembly of Vaishnavas, and we have to understand, the Nawab Hussain Shah was a person who, according on his orders, people were killed, temples were destroyed, and he was kind of quite a hard ruler, and was in some way very much giving a lot of pain to the brahmanas. But then what did they do? It's described there. Patsaha dekiha sebe sambrame utila sambrame asanadiya rajera vasila. As soon as all the brahmanas and the Sanatana Goswami saw that the Nawab appeared, they all stood up and respectfully gave him a sitting place to honor him. So they immediately respected him. Why? Because Raja Maryada, because of that principle. And Srila Prabhupada gives an interesting purport. He says, although Nawab Hussain Shah was a mlecha, Yavana, he was nonetheless the governor of the country, and the learned scholars and Sanatana Goswami offered him all the respect due to a king or a governor. When a person occupies an exalted executive post, one should consider that he has acquired the grace of the Lord. So that's the idea. If someone gets some important position, it means that Krishna somehow allowed it. Krishna gave blessings to that person. And then Prabhupada quotes from the Bhagavad Gita, Yat Yat Vibhutatmi Sattvam, that know that all opulence, beauty, and glorious creation spring from but a spark of my splendor. Whenever we see something exalted, we must consider it part of the power of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. A powerful man is one who has obtained the grace of the Lord or has derived some power from him. Krishna says, Tejas Tejasvinam Aham, I am the power in the powerful. The learned man, the scholars showed respect to Nawab Hussain Shah because he represented a fraction of Krishna's power. So that's the idea, and that's why one should respect also to the police officer. Anyway, So then the next one is respect to education, vidya maryada. If someone has a lot of knowledge, he's naturally respected, right? There's many professors, they have studied their whole life, they have a lot of knowledge. So naturally, that is also being respected. Of course, sometimes, I don't know, maybe 100 years ago or so, if someone was a professor, usually they were also celibate. Did you know? Like, in order to make a PhD or become a professor, you had to be a celibate. You know, that means some time ago, people still kind of understood that learning is one thing, but then good qualities in a sense of controlling the senses and being very sober is also important. Because nowadays, someone can be a teacher, a professor, but he can live like what he does in his private life, nobody is interested. But in ancient time, it was different. So sometimes someone maybe respect someone for his education, but then maybe he doesn't have good qualities. So that's why the next one is Sadguna Maryad, which means a person who have good qualities. So we respect those people more than those who have power or knowledge. Someone actually has good qualities, then that's very much respected. And then there is three more. The next two, if you come from an Indian background, it will be easy to understand, otherwise maybe not, but respecting according to Varna. Varna is the occupational duty someone performs. That means someone who knows what is his dharma, he lives his life according to his nature properly, and he's properly situated. And amongst them, the brahmanas, the priest, is mostly respected. And then there is the respect according to the ashram, and amongst the different ashram, the sannyasi is mostly respected. Sannyasi is the renowned, like a monk, but a monk who has accepted a lifelong vow of celibacy and renunciation. And why he's respected? Mainly we respect his vow of renunciation. Because in this world, where basically sex life is that which is the driving force of the whole creation, someone who willingly avoids and kind of gives up that, then that is to be respected. And it's interesting also there's a story once, Srila Prabhupada was walking with some disciples in Vrindavan, and then they saw some sannyasis coming from the Ramakrishna mission. And Ramakrishna, they have a little different philosophy, okay? We don't agree with all of them, but they are basically Mayavadis, they have an impersonal understanding. So when they saw Prabhupada, they were saying, Soham, Soham, which means I am that. Like, their understanding is as soon as someone is a sannyasi, he becomes Narayan. You're equal to the Supreme, Soham, I am that also. So you are that, I am that, we are both Brahman, And Prabhupada said, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. And then they walked further. And then at some point, Prabhupada, put his cane into the dust and said, why didn't you offer respect? You should have paid obeisances. And then the disciples said, but Prabhupada, these are Mayavad sannyasis. And Prabhupada, but nevertheless, they are sannyasis, and you should offer respect to them. And then Prabhupada explained, if someone is not paying obeisances to a sannyasi, then one should fast for 1 day. So that's kind of an atonement you should do. Sometimes if you're in India, if you're in Mayapur, it becomes difficult because there's so many sannyasis all the time. Oh. So, yeah. But yeah, sannyasis should be respected because of their vow of renunciation. So these are we mentioned 7 different reasons why someone should be respected. But what is the main reason one should be given respect actually at the end of the day? What do you think?
Because of his devotion to Krishna.
Yes, this is a bhakti maryada. In Vedic culture, in the culture of spirituality, where the goal of life is to establish that relationship with God, the greatest respect is given to some person who actually has a lot of devotion to the Lord. That is given most respect. And of course, because it's not so easy to understand who has that devotion and who not. We have a room full of people here, and so who of you has the most devotion? I mean, how to judge? Those guys with the orange things. I mean, not necessarily. I tell you, it's not. There can be a simple house woman, like a mother with children. She maybe has much more devotion than even a sannyasi. That it's something very internal, because that's something it's with your heart. How much love you have for Krishna, how much devotion you have developed, how much strong desire you have to actually be in a connection with God, and how much you have cultivated that relationship. It's a very internal thing, and you can't really see it externally. Of course, to some degree you can see that there are signs, that scriptures also give symptoms of those who have a lot of devotion, that's also there, but still it's not so easy. And because it's not so easy, therefore the scripture give the other 7 aspects or aspects of respect. Like that's called etiquette or culture. It gives you some guidelines. Someone who has knowledge, someone who has renunciation, someone who is a little elder. So different ways you show respect to people. And if you do that, then you're on the safe side. And of course, those who actually have a lot of bhakti, then we respect them mostly. And there is a nice story from the Hari Bhakti Sudoya. In an ancient time, there was a group of saints came together, some saints, they came together on the bank of the Ganges, and they were discussing about Krishna. They had some satsang. And among these sages, there was Markandeya Rishi. And Markandeya Rishi, he was 7 kalpas old. Okay? For those who don't know what a kalpa is, I mean, it's a little complicated, the whole Vedic time calculation. But kalpa is 1 day of Lord Brahma. And yeah, it basically it means it's 4.23 billion years. Okay? He basically had the blessings to live almost forever till the end of creation. So he was very old. He was very mature and very wise. So he was there in this assembly, and they were speaking, and of course they all give respect to him, because he was the oldest, obviously, and the most advanced. And then Markandeya Rishi noticed a young boy named Parasara sitting on the lap of his father. And although the boy was only 7 years old, Markandeya immediately got up and he offered obeisance to that 7-year-old boy. And then all the sages became a little bit confused. What's going on here? Why, this a great personality shows respect to this small boy? It's like, doesn't make sense. 7 kalpas, 7 years, a little difference. And then Markandeya Rishi, he then explained. He smiled and said, "How is one's span of life to be considered, O rishis? I speak the truth. All jivas are born with material bodies, but the time that one spends doing Hari Bhajan should be calculated as the actual span of life." So interesting, Like, we if someone asks, "How old are you?" then you say, "I'm, in my case, 47 years old." But am I 47 years old? Because according to Markandeya Rishi, we shouldn't calculate the years that we are in this body, but we should calculate the years we perform Hari Bhajan. That's interesting. So, and then he said, because this boy is such a pure, he's only 7 years old, but he actually performed 7 years continuously Hari Bhajan. And although I'm 7 kalpas years old, I'm not as old as he. So he's older, because he has performed more Hari Bhajan than I have. So that's an interesting way to look at it. Maturity of a person is not so much the age of the body, but the practice of spiritual life, specifically the devotion one has developed for the Lord. And therefore, those who have bhakti maryada, that's the most, gives most respect. So these are some, time is almost up. these are some points of different forms of showing respect. So why is it important? Well, to make it simple, if we show respect, we make very easily progress in our spiritual life, because we receive so much blessings from the seniors. And if we don't show proper respect, we basically, we become proud, we become envious, and we might, fall down, have difficulties in our spiritual life. We lose all good qualities because of not showing respect. So respect it's very essential. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, of course, he taught, he said, Trinada Pisuni Chena, Tarori Vasa Ishnuna, Amani Namanadena, Kirtanya Sadahari. That one should think oneself lower than a grass, one who is more tolerant than a tree, and who does not expect personal honor, yet always prepared to give respect to others, can chant the holy name very easily, constantly. So in order to, we know the process of this age is the chanting of the holy name, the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. That's the essence of Bhakti Yoga. But in order to do this meditation, one should also develop qualities of humility, tolerance, and giving respect and not expecting respect. And that's the hard one. Usually we always want everyone to respect us. We want that people give us respect. And but a true Vaishnava, a true devotee, he's not interested in anyone giving respect to him, because he's humble. He doesn't think that he's a very important person. He just is a simple servant of the Lord. He wants to please the devotees, and he's very interested in giving respect to others. And that's a devotee. And therefore, Srila Prabhupada, and again, this is also culture. Prabhupada introduced or taught us that we should address each other as Prabhus. My name is Krishna Premarupa Dasa, Dasa at the end, which means servant. I'm a servant of Krishna and the devotees. But if someone else sees me and says, hey, Hare Krishna, Krishna Premarupa Prabhu, he tells me Prabhu. He sees me as a Prabhu, but if I see him, I tell him Prabhu. So basically, I see myself as a servant, but I see the other person as a master. So Prabhupada says, the Vaishnava society is very meticulously instructed, where the juniors always respect the seniors, and the juniors always receive affection and blessing from the seniors. That's the idea, no? So Prabhupada said, you should not just use it mechanically, the term Prabhu. You should meaningfully apply it. Yes, to call one another Prabhu is all right, but not to become Prabhu. To accept others as Prabhu and remain a servant is the idea. But because someone is calling you Prabhu, one should not become Prabhu and treat others as servant. In other words, everyone should feel himself as servant and not to think himself Prabhu because he's called Prabhu. This will make the relationship congenial or very nice. So there is more we could speak about why we should be respectful. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that if I think the day when I think I'm a Vaishnava, it is a very dangerous day, because if I think I am a Vaishnava, if I think I am a great devotee of Krishna, then I will not become humble. Rather, my heart will become contaminated with the hope of receiving honor from others. I have this, hopefully someone else will respect me. I'm a Vaishnava. Can you see I'm a Vaishnava? How long I'm here? I have an orange clothes. Can you see? Please show me some respect. This mentality comes. And if that mentality is there, then I'm not able to, if I wait for respect, I'm not able to give respect. And if I not give respect, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, then you will go to a very dark region. I mean, he says here hell, but this is a Sunday program, I don't say the word hell, so dark region. So if one becomes proud, then everything is spoiled. Okay, so it's important to be respectful, because that's kind of a very basic of our culture, and in order for spiritual life it's important. So how can we learn to be respectful? Any ideas? What would you say? what could be a practical, how to practically apply this. So I want to be more respectful in my life. So what should I do to develop that mentality of giving respect? Any ideas?
Be grateful.
Okay, be grateful. Yes. Any? To be humble. To be humble. Yes. That. I mean, unless you're humble, then it will be difficult to show respect. Again, because you're waiting the other person to give you respect. What else?
If one applies one fully to devotional service and one chanting and everything, then one develops these qualities that inside the heart, and then one really appreciates also others who are on the path. And,
Okay, yes, by actually applying the process of devotional service, that means chanting the holy name, practicing bhakti yoga, then the heart becomes purified, and by a purified heart the false ego is diminished, and then one will be able to give respect. Yeah. What about trying to see good in others? That's it's a simple thing, but how often do we do it? Like to actively try to see good in others. Try to catch someone doing something right, something good, and then tell it. Express your appreciation. Because the mind usually goes in a different direction. What is the mind usually doing? Finding fault. And why is the mind finding fault? And what is the ego doing?
to feel superior.
Yes, to feel superior, to feel better. Because I'm the best, isn't it? The ego, we all have this voice inside of us. The ego tells us, you're the best, you're the best. And then someone else is there. Actually, he's also quite good. This Rasa Shri Ram, he's very good. But I'm better. And actually, if you look closer, he has this and this fault. Oh yes, I feel better now. That's how it goes, The ego wants to make us feel best. And in order to feel best, we have to push the other down. And then there is envy. We don't. If someone is making more progress than I do, then we become envious. But the Vaishnava society or a devotee community is a community with no envy. That means it's a community or it's a culture of empowerment. We actually want to see that everyone becomes better than me. That's the proper understanding. We want to empower everyone. Everyone should be doing wonderful. But because of the ego, we want to be the best ourselves, and therefore we pull others down by seeing the fault in others. And there is a nice story, because in some way this is a whole topic in itself. There is one story from the Mahabharata. There is Dronacharya. This is a well-known story. Some of you may know. Dronacharya was a great teacher, a martial art teacher. He was a warrior who taught the skill of fighting to the students, the princes of the kingdom, Dronacharya. And then they had different students, and one was Yudhisthira and one was Duryodhan. And Yudhisthira basically was the pious king, and Duryodhan, or the pious prince, and Duryodhan was the evil prince. Right? But Dronacharya taught both of them, and all the Pandavas and the Kauravas. So one day Dronacharya called Yudhisthira and told him, I have teaching you for so long, I want some Guru Dakshina. Guru Dakshina means some, some payment for the teaching. So I want you to go out and find one person who is lower than you. You heard that story, huh? You find one person who is lower. And then Yudhisthira left. And then Drona called Duryodhan. He said, so I'm teaching you for a long time. You should do something for me. I want you to go out and find one person who is better than you. And he also went and tried to find someone who is better. And both of them were out for a long time, I don't know, many weeks or so. And they were seeking and couldn't find it. They came back. And Yudhisthira came back and he said, I failed, Gurudev, I failed. I really looked, but I could not find anyone who is lower than me. Because I have so many bad qualities. And I see these people around me, they have also such good qualities. I couldn't find someone who is lower. And then Duryodhan came also back, and he said, you gave me such a hard task. No, I couldn't find anyone better than me. Like, I'm such a great king, you know, such a great prince. I couldn't find anyone better. You see the difference in mentality? So then Dronacharya turned to Yudhishthira and said, your search is over. Here is someone lower than you. Showing to Duryodhana. And then and Dronacharya turned to Duryodhana and said, your search is also over. Here is someone better than you. And he showed to Yudhishthira. So this is a nice little story which shows that some people have the mentality of seeing the good and some have the mentality of seeing the bad, you know, always finding faults. And of course, this is compared to the fly and the honeybee. The fly is always going to the bad things, seeing the bad, but the honeybee always sees the good. And we should be honeybees, right? We should try to see the good in others. Because this tendency to criticize others, this tendency to fault finding is very deeply inside. And we should somehow try to overcome this. There's two kind of people in the world. There is the sadhu and the asadu. The sadhu is a saintly person, a good person, and the asadu is the opposite, the person who is bad, who only sees bad. And Srila Vishnava Chakravarti Thakur gives very nice explanation. He says the sadhu, let's first go to the bad, asadu, the bad person. He thinks when he sees someone, even the person is good, even if someone has obviously good qualities, then he still thinks, yeah, okay, that person might be like this Rasa Shairam Prabhu. He's a nice, good person, but I'm sure he will do something wrong in the future. There is no fault, but he still sees some fault that will come at some point, you know. And then then there's like 4 stages according to the influence of Tamaguna. 4 stages. The next stage is he overlooks, he sees faults only and overlooks the good qualities. Although there is good quality, but he only sees the faults. Then the next level is he takes small faults and makes them bigger. And I mean, that's what's going on social media, right? Someone is doing something, and then it's done, make it very big. You know, everyone is. And then the 4th and the last stage of this bad vision is seeing only faults in others, even where there are no faults. Even if a person is perfect, a person is very good, but still they find fault even where there is actually no fault. That's the mentality of someone who is always finding fault. And the sadhu, the saintly person, is just the opposite. Accepts even faults in others, since faults can eventually be transformed into something good. So if he sees a person who has faults, he said, okay, there is fault, but it can be turned into something good. No, he sees the good already coming in the future. Then the next level, he overlooks the faults and he sees the good. There is some fault, but let's focus on the good. Next level, he takes the small good and makes that small good big. And that's what actually the teacher is doing, you know, like there's a little spark and that is kind of supported fan and then a big fire. Like that's, even there is a little good, but then it's encouraged that someone become very good. And then the last stage is he sees good qualities in others, even if there is no good quality. and that we come to the beginning of the class, because you can always find something good. Even if someone maybe behaves very bad and is a bad person, but when we come back to the beginning of our presentation here, the transcendentalist, regardless of the external situation, he always sees that actually the person is a soul, a spiritual soul. And the super soul is also there in the heart. And therefore, every person actually is an eternal soul and a spiritual being. And we should respect that. We should give respect to that. And yes, maybe the person behaves bad, but still, there is always some respect we can give. Hare Krishna. So these are some thoughts. We spoke about this Samadarshina, to see everyone with equal vision, which is a spiritual vision. Of course, on the material platform there are differences, and we also have to respect there is differences. But the mentality should be to see the good. And then we spoke about different forms of respect. and how actually devotion to Krishna, to God in general, is that which we respect most. And we spoke about how important it is to cultivate. And application of respect basically is that we try to see good in others. And that can be a practice. We can take a vow. Let me take a vow to not find faults. Let me try to, every day, let me find some good qualities in some people. No? And then try to cultivate that mentality. That will help. And you will see your relationship will be very nice with others. And spiritually you can just very nicely progress. Because Guru and Krishna will be very happy in the Vaishnavas. So in that sense is an important topic which I felt I wanted to share. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. We have 4 minutes left. Any thoughts on what we heard or any questions?
I have one question and something that is sometimes difficult for me to understand. We should see everyone with an equal vision, and then also we hear that we should treat persons also differently. Like Prabhupada said, we respect the tiger, but we don't embrace him. And so
yes.
sometimes I get confused, and I see it's also get sometimes mixed up. That we see everyone is a spiritual soul and respect them, but so we also treat everyone a little bit different, and how we should deal with this.
That it's a good point. So therefore we have two things. One is the spirituality or the spiritual vision, that's Samadarshana, where we actually should have that equal vision. And that equal vision will also manifest in our attitude, like a certain mentality that we have. And people can feel our mentality. Like some people, it's a certain attitude. Some people think I'm good and others are all nonsense. And if you have such a mentality, then people will recognize. But if you honestly actually respect other people and feel that they also have something good, people can feel that. So it's about a mentality that we need to cultivate, and that's the spiritual vision can help us to develop that mentality. That's one thing. But then we have the culture, where we also, as you said, we embrace. I mean, no, we don't embrace a tiger. We respect the tiger because he's also a living entity. But we may keep a little distance. We are careful. So, similarly, there are many the culture or the etiquette. They give different forms, which help us to behave properly in society. But nevertheless, we can cultivate that mentality to respect and love everyone. But then we behave according to the culture. That's how I would answer. Does it make sense? Yeah.
Can you repeat please the name of the teacher of Duryodhana and Arjuna?
Dronacharya.
Dronacharya.
Yeah, Dronacharya. Yeah, he was a wise man. Yes. Yes.
Treating you disrespectful for a long time, and you tell them, stop, you are my limits, I don't expect this treatment, and they continue. So what do you say for that case?
Yeah, that opens up a whole discussion. Could be a different topic on tolerance also, because in principle, our teaching is that if some criticism or bad treatment is directed towards you, you tolerate. But if critique or bad treatment is directed towards someone else, you don't tolerate. And if everyone is applying this principle, then you don't have to defend yourself, because you will have the community who actually will protect you. But for your own benefit, actually, it's good to tolerate. No, but of course there's a certain borderline. Certain things we should not tolerate, and then we also have to stand up and say, "Wait, that's too much. Here is the end," And then we also have a right to defend ourselves and make sure that others understand that that's also there. Yeah. Yes. Then we. I can't hear you. Yes, that's okay. Thank you. That's a nice way we can end this class, because that's the essence of our shloka. No? Vittivinaya Sampane Brahman Kavini Hasini. The shloka that we recited, 5:18, basically is what you said. We focus on the heart. We understand that within the heart of every living entity there is the soul, that spiritual being, and with that spiritual being is also Krishna as Paramatma. And seeing that Paramatma in the heart, we have a good reason to show respect, because hey, here, every body is actually a walking temple, a walking mandir. Every body is a temple, because God sits in the heart. So a good reason to show respect to everyone, because Krishna is there in the heart. All right, thank you very much, and please accept my humble obeisances. Vanchakalpa tarubhyascha kripa sindhuveva cha patitanam. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Bhaktivinoda ki jai.
Mommy cooked 1 hour spent.